With all of the recent controversy on the code of conduct and all that type of stuff, a lot of people have been thinking about other options and other alternatives to Linux, and so that's why I've decided to check something that's based on a different OS, and that something today is Haiku. So Haiku is an open source operating system and it's in development. I think that the version I'll be looking at right now is a new beta, and so it specifically targets personal computing, and it's inspired by the I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but the B operating system, and so it's fast, efficient, and simple to use, and also claims to be a very powerful system. And so this is what it says here on DistroWatch. It's got a 7.9 for user reviews, and if we take a look at the official website for it, we have it right here. So this is where you can download it if you want. You just click on this link, and on top of that, the homepage has a bunch of other stuff that you could check out and take a look at. And right here, there's a fundraiser, so if you want to donate, you can do that. There's a goal for $10,000. So without further ado, let's check out the system itself. Alright, so here we have it booted up, and this is the installer. And so we have a bunch of language options here that we can choose from. And so you can choose whatever you want from here, and you can either run installer or boot to desktop. So I'm just going to boot to desktop without installing this. And keep in mind, I mean, there's a lot of other options I could have chosen, like OpenBSD and whatnot, but I figured this is a new release, at least the beta, and I thought it would be interesting to try something kind of less known, I guess. And also, if you want me to make a video about the code of conduct, like what my opinion is on that, let me know, because I try to stay neutral, you know, not talk about those type of topics, but if you want to hear it, then I could consider making a video. So, but yeah, you know, I've been just seeing a lot of people panicking and all that type of stuff, and so that's why you know, people are considering other options. So I decided to kind of step out of my comfort zone and test something new out. So here we have, so I click the welcome here, and so apparently this opens a browser. So by the looks of it, this is the what you're looking at right here, the yellow thing where my cursor is. It seems to be the title bar, and here it gives the webpage to the user guide. So we just have a bunch of useful information, you know, getting to know the system, installing software, updating, getting the internet to work. Let's see if something else works, like some other website. Okay, so it doesn't really have the box here, but let's look up, I don't know, Linux, I guess. So by the looks of it, the browser is pretty fast. I mean, it's loading things up pretty fast, and might experience some lag here and there, but that's because I am on a virtual machine. So the user guide probably takes you to a similar link. Let me try to double click that. There we go. Yeah. So this kind of explains to you everything you need to know in terms of applications, all that type of stuff. And this title bar is actually pretty interesting. So clicking on this like kind of icon button here to the right maximizes it, even though it's not fully maximized because of this, which we'll take a look at in a second. But the button here on the left is the exit button, so it's pretty interesting. Let's take a look at what bbook is. So this is probably, again, another kind of manual or introduction, whatever, to, I guess, the B operating system. Again, I've never used any of this, so I wouldn't really know. Okay, so yeah, it's system overview, so it gives you these kits, which I guess are, let's take a look at them. So I guess they're kind of like categories of kind of information on how to do all these types of stuff, which I have no idea about. So this definitely seems kind of complex at first glance, and it's definitely something new to get used to, something that you'll have to learn. So trying to maximize this window doesn't really help, and you can't really minimize it either. But this is the home folder. We got the desktop, which, well, it's probably these icons here. Mail. So you got spam, all that type of stuff, all those folders, and the config. So this is pretty lightweight, and the ISO as well was like only, what, I think 800 megabytes or something like that. So, and so here it goes in a different type of file system. So we have the trash, which is here on the desktop as well. Pretty simple. We have the home folder, which is this, and then I guess the root or system is right here, where it has all these types of stuff right here, all these system folders. And then of course, you have all these helpful guides and whatnot to help you with the installation, and we have the installer here, which it gives you some pretty useful information. So if you're installing it onto real hardware, you may want to prepare a hard disk partition from another OS, for example gparted if you're of course from Linux, or from Windows. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, so this is, it's pretty nice. I like how everything is kind of like, it's explained for you and everything's there. Like if you have questions, or if you're lost on anything, it's pretty good how everything's there. So right clicking on the desktop, you have right here, you have all these icons that are on the desktop itself. You can easily make a new folder or file or C++ header / source. Icon view, let's take a look at this. Oops. So you can change the size of each icon, which I think the scaling actually looks really good. Like these icons look very good when they're scaled to the max resolution. Okay, so they're kind of, let's see if you can move them. Oops. Yep, you can move them, but they're kind of cluttered together. So I think that you can put these pretty much anywhere you want. As you can see, it's not like something like your regular operating system, where when you try to line up the icons, they're kind of fit into these kind of like squares, invisible squares, and you're kind of limited to that. Whereas this one, you can clutter them together if you want. I think that's pretty nice. I actually personally always wanted something like that. So this is kind of very many like icons, where it's just the text pops up at that point. So let's put it back to the defaults. Cleanup. So that's pretty nice. So in case you've kind of cluttered the desktop and have the icons like all over the place, you could just clean things up, and then it organizes everything for you. I think that's pretty nice. And then you have the options to select them, and then mounting and add-ons. So let's see the disk usage. So while that loads up, okay, so there's home. So of course I haven't really used up anything, and again, as you see, it's about almost 900 megabytes. Oops. So we got text search. Let's take a look at this. Let's type in, I don't know, boot. Let's see some related to that. Okay, so I have an idea. No? So what I was trying to do here is I think that text search, so I'm assuming it's you type in some sort of text related to a file and you can find that file. I mean, I see user guide here, like on the top, but when I type trash, see it pops up, but I'm not really getting anything. I don't know, if you've ever used this, let me know how to use it effectively or correctly, because I'm personally not sure. So for the background, so we have the Haiku logo, which I'm not seeing it right now, so let's apply that. There we go. We could probably try out a new image, so let's take a look at a new image here. Let's just get one from the internet. So one image that I really like is Darkest Hour, for like one of the KDE images. I think that it's pretty good, so let's just try and see. Download image. Okay, close that up. I like how things seem pretty straightforward with this desktop. It's for the desktop environment, it's using a the Haiku. Oh, that's pretty cool how you could just drag it and line it up. It's using the Haiku what's it called, desktop environment, so it's using a specific desktop environment for itself. So I don't know, placement, let's see, scale to fit, there we go. Look at this is actually really neat. I've never seen anything like this. It's really cool how you can just drag it however you want, and that's actually really good. I like that. Can you adjust the colors? Or no, I think that's only for if you want the background to just be an image. So here we have this. For add-ons, we can open up the terminal. So this is the terminal. Let's see if you can edit it. So you just have these options here. So you can't really personalize, but that's fine. I don't see why you would need to edit it any further. So let's take a look at what this is. So tracker. Okay, so it says no windows, so I'm assuming we have to open up a window. Let's open up the trash. So the tracker, so you can hide them all. So this is kind of like your minimize button, and you can show it and you can close it. So if you have multiple trash folders open, I can't really open up multiple, but let's say for the browser, for example, you could clear it, or let's say you decide to hide it, you can just access it really quickly like that. It's pretty nice. So here we have the clock, which you can adjust your preferences. You can show the day, the week, all that type of stuff. And for some reason, if you want to hide it, you can hide it and it's still going to be there. So let's take a look at these icons though. So this is the volume. It's pretty nice, and I really like how it can go over the max, which is actually really nice, because Linux, for some reason, I don't know why, but it's quieter. Like before, when I was still using Windows, Windows was a lot louder for some reason, so I would always have to go over the 100% limit. So for this is the network, and then this is, well, I can't really. So this is the power. It's very nice. This is very nice actually. You can easily quit an application. You can check the memory usage. So let's see. So it's using about a gigabyte. Is it? No. So it has two values here. I don't know which one to believe, either the left one or the right one. 580 would make a lot more sense though. Like looking at the desktop environment and what's going on, I just don't see what would be taking up over a gigabyte. So then it has the CPU usage and threads. It even has a power saving mode, which is very nice. And so right here, this is kind of, I guess, like a menu. Gives you the information. So the kernel version, the memory. Okay, there we go. So it's only using, I gave it 8 gigabytes of RAM, it's only using almost 600, so below 600, which is very nice. Don't think it would get much higher than that, honestly. Desk bar preferences, so this is very nice. So you can adjust the icon size, which I don't know why these icons aren't changing. You can sort things. So this is for a window. When you open up a window, whether it should cover this menu over here or not. Okay. Again, the one thing that's weird is why the icons won't change for these ones. I think that would be more helpful. But we have that. So this is how you can shut down your system or restart it. And then you can access recent files and documents and whatnot. So this is, again, this is basically your menu. Here are the applications, which you can take a look at right here. So pretty much your basic applications that you would need. Let's see what TV is. Channel, what? I'm not really getting any options here. If you know what this is, let me know. This seems pretty interesting. Okay, so you got a sound recorder, media player, of course, and then you have the installer itself. So demos, let's take a look at the clock. Oh, so that's pretty interesting. So I'm assuming demos probably means widgets, I guess. So that's like a clock widget or a chart. So you can easily access it from here. That's actually really interesting. Let's see. Let's see what playground is. Click and drag to draw an object. Okay. Well, I'm dragging that, but new object. Okay. So you can just make shapes and whatnot with this. Alright, so desktop applets. See the power status. So maybe this run in window, let's just do that. Maybe this is kind of like a widget. I'm not too sure with this. Again, you'd have to check it out for yourself and play around, because if I take a look at all of these, then it would just take too much time. But for the appearance, we have the different colors. So that's very nice how you can change pretty much everything. So for this, you can, if you want a dark theme, you could just set this lower and you can set the text to be white. But I'll just leave it back to the defaults. So you can change the colors of basically anything, any types of windows and whatnot. Look and feel. Let's see this decorator. So it slightly changes the title bar, kind of makes it a darker yellow, makes it more flat looking. So you can change the arrow. So I'm assuming this is the side arrow right here that appears. Anti-aliasing, you can disable this or enable it. That's basically it for appearance. Backgrounds, we already took a look at that. Desk bar, same thing. Email, of course, it has email client, just like all the Linux distros I've taken a look at up until now. And so here are the repositories. So it just shows which ones are enabled or disabled, but how exactly you install the software, I don't think there's really a software center or anything. I think you just do it all from the terminal. But of course, you have the user guide here, so if you want to learn more on that, then you can check that out. Alright, so I think I've played around with this for a good amount of time. Of course, I didn't want to go too much into detail because the video is just going to be too long, and you know, there's just no point. I do recommend checking it out. I guess, you know, to try something other than Linux out for fun at least. But that's pretty much it. I mean, I wouldn't really use it for anything else, at least me personally. It all depends on what kind of needs you have when it comes to an operating system, and this just it has some good features and whatnot, but it just probably wouldn't satisfy my personal needs. But do I recommend checking it out at least? Of course. And relating to the whole code of conduct thing and whatnot, honestly, I think that if you just give it time, I think everything is going to stabilize. I have faith in Linux. You know, I think that it's going to still be what the users want it to be for a very long time, at least. At least that's what I think, you know. But yeah, I don't think that we should look for alternatives just yet. But at least, even if we have to, sooner or later, the good thing is that there's options. So yeah, that was pretty much it. Yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope this was interesting, checking something new out. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.